You find yourself on Nova Haven. Very familiar place, a place you were born and raised as far as you're concerned, the place where you helped take care of your family, place where you got into trouble and got out of trouble. Now, you're looking to find yourself to get into some trouble for some profit. Not totally unusual for you.
No, not at all.
You're at a hollow terminal bank with others around you. This area of the station is similar to what you grew up in. It's quite poor. There's little to no guards around. And you've used your connections to get into a private sector of the network on the station. Private sector where all the criminals go to put up their job listings for or to be hired and to find jobs. On this terminal, as you're looking through, there's one that seems easy enough for you, something that you're skilled in doing. It's just a steal and deliver kind of job. You're going to steal something, and you're going to deliver it to a Sheeran that is in one of the black markets on Nova Haven. The thing that you are going to steal, if you do accept this job, is a piece of I wrote this down assuming I could pronounce it out loud. Chiskaret. And if you give me I was going to say history, but I don't think that's a real thing in this game.
No,
it's not. But give me a culture.
Got it. Bam. 11.
The name sounds familiar. You know, it's a Sheeran word. And there's a bit of a history tied to it, but you're not entirely remembering what it is at this moment. The location of this item is in the Drifting Ember. It's a kind of bar that is kind of known for the shady deals that go on there. You, of course, know where to go, and you do accept the job and begin on your way. As you walk through some more slums, through a high-rise kind of district, and eventually back into almost slums, like low middle class. And you find yourself in the doorway that is adorned in holographic flames and a neon orange sign above it saying Drifting Ember with tiny little specks coming off of it magically as well. As you walk inside, the bar is full. It's very full. You activate your eye to kind of look around and try to pick up anybody who's around. There's a few people of interest that stick out to you. There's a few people with briefcases and booths. You don't know if they're dealing illicit substances, forbidden items. It's all quite strange. Not unusual, just strange. Can I have you roll perception?
Absolutely.
Oh, you're just not rolling well at all.
Oh, not yet.
You can spend a resolve to reroll if you would like.
Yeah, I should. Here we go. That's more my style. There we go. 19.
So you know this metal is Sheeran based, and in a couple booths there are Sheerans in them. One of the booths has 3 others in it and has a briefcase. There's another booth that just has a Sheeran and a wood elf that are talking, but it looks like there might be something at their feet.
With that check, can I see if it's like a heavily fortified case? Is there like a latch on it or something?
Yeah, with the group of 4, it's one of it. The briefcase does seem to be a bit locked up, but there's a handle that you could just easily snatch and grab if you needed. The other one, it's a little bit harder to tell, but you could definitely just grab it and run if you needed to. It's technically feasible for you to grab both, but that would create more unwanted trouble than you really need.
True. Well, if I know it's a Sheeran word, that makes the most sense.
There's both the tables have Sheerans that I said.
Okay. Oh, well, yeah, that doesn't. Oh, that helps, but it also doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I? I don't know what the word means. And they both look like well-to-do Sheeran, like dressed real nice or something like that, or nicer clothes.
One is dressed nicer. The group of 2, they're both dressed nicer. The group of 4, it's a Sheeran and a old-looking, very ancient-looking dwarf on one side, and then you have a half drow and a Kasatha on the other. And they look a little bit more suited to your profession, if you were.
Little scruffy, got you. Uh, um, no other information to go on. Could take both. And I'm not a big dude, so are these like
No, you are quite small.
I am quite small indeed. I think I'm just gonna act casual as I walk over. Are there any symbols on the cases themselves?
Yes. On the group of 4, there is a symbol that has like a snowflake on it, and one that roughly translates to no bare contact, meaning like they don't want you to like touch whatever's inside with your bare hands.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the other one, as you get closer, it appears to be a box rather, and they it doesn't have any symbols on it. And it's very unremarkable.
Really wish I knew what this word meant.
You could roll culture again if you wanted.
Yeah. What does this word mean? Sure. I swear. Oh, okay. I have even less of an idea. 10. Okay. Well, one
Again,
clearly says don't.
resolve could be spent to reroll.
Uh, yeah.
Wow, you just
That's worse.
can't.
I don't know what
Yeah,
that
you just
word
can't
means.
catch a break on this.
No.
Yeah, you have no idea.
Well, one says don't touch the inside. Um, I'm gonna the other one's unassuming. Darn, this is the worst. I'm gonna go for the one that says don't touch the inside because it has a clear warning on it.
It's remarkable, as in it's noticeable.
Right. Um.
Okay, you're
I
gonna
no.
steal it.
Yeah, that's the.
You're gonna go for it. Okay.
I'm gonna steal the one that doesn't have anything on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Go for that one.
Can I have you roll sleight of hand?
Absolutely. Yeah. 19.
Yeah, you definitely take it, and super easy, super chill for you to take. And you walk along, and well, you feel it. It feels kind of light. Uh, and you're able to kind of get to a safe, secluded space, whether that's inside the bar or outside. That is your choice.
Well, I think I just kind of like slide over to one of the booths a little
Okay.
out of sight and pop it open. See what I see.
Okay. And when you do, it only has a hollow tablet and some credits in it, or a hollow pad. Sorry, only has a hollow pad and some credits in it.
Okay. Um. Then with that particular case, because he's like, better to say sorry, he's going to close it. Has anyone noticed anything at this point?
No, the two at that table seem to have continued their conversation, not noticing that whatever was under their table was taken.
Then, um, as casual as I was before, I want to walk back through that area, and I'm going to try to swap the case with the marking with this unmarked case as I'm walking by.
Okay. Roll
All
sleight of
right.
hand again.
Okay. 14.
Okay. As you do, you hear the Sheeran talking, and the Kasatha as well. They're both talking in the Sheeran tongue. So it's a lot of clicking and tapping of fingers for the Kasatha, but actual clicking and mouth and chittering noises from the Sheeran.
I do
Um,
understand Sharon.
yes, you do, which is, I'm about to get to that.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine. I just like to set up how it sounds.
Sorry.
Uh, they're talking about the safety precautions of this box, saying, yes, only my my species and the Vesk and certain of the small rats can touch this thing. Otherwise, it hurts and will peel off whatever you touch with.
Hmm.
Xatha is kind of like making click noises and tapping with her hands at this point. And going like, yes, yes, I know. I have the gloves. I have the proper equipment for this. It's fine. I'll be safe. And as you make the switch very quickly, you're like some of the thermals in your cybernetic eye activate, and you notice that this case you're holding now is like this dead zone. Like it has no heat coming off of it, and it has absolutely no cold coming off of it compared to like everything else in here. This thing kind of stands out now when the thermals in your eye activate.
Okay. Yep. He's Still flying casual right on past them.
All right. As you do, you continue to, do you want to open and check it inside the bar, or do you want to go out?
I very much want to go outside of the bar. Don't open this
Okay.
up.
And as you do, it's only a few seconds later after you exit the bar, and you can hear just through the sliver of that door just about to close, you hear the Kasatha shout in its tongue, and then in like these loud clicking noises of going like, "What the fuck? Where is the actual product, you cheating bastard?"
What? Thought I had more time.
And then as the door closes, you hear a few kinetic gun sounds, and then I'm assuming you start running at this point.
No, running tells people a lot of things, especially when you're running
Okay.
from a location. Is this area like traversed well?
Yes, and after you hear the kinetic gunshot, the door opens and you start seeing some people like run out of there.
Right. Um, Small size, a lot of frenetic, like a rush of activity all around the area. He's going to use that chaos to slip into one of the side streets and kind of like go into the like next road over and just blend in with that crowd.
Okay. I'll have you roll disguise at this point then.
Okay. 18.
Wonderful. As you slip, um, you notice that like in the street, it's a little bit more Yosoki gnomes and dwarves here. It seems very small. Even the ceiling feels a little bit more appropriate to your height compared to everything else that the humans and Lashunta built and changed after they came to the station. And you fit in pretty well. The only thing that kind of stands out is the briefcase, but even then, that's a bit excusable. And when you pull out your comlink to check on like the details of the job, it says that this black market that you need to go to is in the science district of the station, or at least it's near there, and you need to deliver it to another Sharon as well.
Understood. Uh, has any of that activity spilled over into the street or like people running over here or no?
Takes a few minutes as you're kind of like walking down, getting closer to your trying to be on your way to your destination in a little bit more of a roundabout way. But yeah, when the few minutes pass, you kind of start seeing some gnomes and dwarves who uh, kind of like run and then try to do what you did. Some as successfully, some more successfully, others definitely less so. As they try to like blend into this area, and then you see a few Yosoki come in. There are some that have a lot more fur. There are some that are less. Some have the braids that you have,
Yeah, he's
and
just gonna.
now this side street is packed.
Um, yeah, and then once it gets to that point, he's then going to officially book it away from here. Now that it's like clear, condensed, you can't pick out a person if you wanted to, kind of thing. Like no one's gonna notice someone like running with a briefcase right now. It's just a bunch of activity, so he's gonna
Yeah.
use that to run away.
Okay. Yeah, you begin running, And would you want to kind of like run at full speed and like stuff the briefcase in your mouth? It'll like take up that entire like the entirety of your cheek pouches. Like it'll slightly stick out, but it'll be and kind of uncomfortable. But you'll be able to like run at full speed at that point.
No. A Yusoki with a briefcase is one thing, but a Yusoki with puffed cheeks means they're actively hiding something. Yeah.
Right. As you just run with the briefcase in hand, you are able to turn a few corners and you end up in that like middle to like low income area. And you're now in this like very civilian space. Everything seems calm. There's only a few guards around. And you begin making your way over to the science district, which directly. And it's a little bit easier and it's a little bit calmer.
Yeah, he's just a little guy with his briefcase, going to work,
Mm-hmm.
doing his thing. Nothing to see here.
There's only a slight difference between the briefcase and your average look, but it's otherwise fine.
I think the only other thing he would do is probably pull up the collar of his coat just a little bit, just be as inconspicuous as possible.
All right.
And he just
Yeah. You're relatively inconspicuous. We're still going off the same roll. It's still pretty good. But when you get to the science district, you do stand out, but the guards look the other way, some scientists look the other way. Because generally they all know that they themselves need to get equipment delivered and perhaps by people who aren't perhaps the most legitimate looking in their sector, and the guards are paid off well enough to turn that blind eye.
Yeah, I mean, I think his beard and Cybrite alone kind of he seems like he's on the up and up.
Yeah. And as you're doing your thing, walking through, seeming casual, like you're delivering something, there's a few things that like stick out to you. I mean, you know the station, but you've never exactly been in the science district. It's not always your thing, and you wouldn't really come here if you had a choice. But now that you notice it, there's grates and drains along the floor in front of each door, and some desks set up beside them. Some people are doing chemistry, and there's this group of people working on what looks like a metallic humanoid skeleton. It's very it's very chrome-like, as in the fact of like it's shiny and good-looking. They seem to be working on it. They seem to be a little bit frustrated. They look at you and then kind of like look away kind of quickly, going like, maybe let's not fuck with this person.
There. Just small nods, like have a pleasant day, like
Yeah.
yeah, it's like this is going my day. There's nothing wrong here. It's all good. It's all
Yeah,
good.
everything's good. Everything's good.
They're right behind me, aren't they? Like, yes.
And as you are making your way through, you go past and you kind of get into this more slums like area again. and this time, but this time it's more filled with people who are cybernetically changed like you, but their cybernetics look dingy, secondhand, malfitted. They're just not good overall. But eventually you find yourself to the door of the black market. That's there. And like most of the doors that lead into any of the black markets that are on the station, there's a keypad that goes into it. There's nobody guarding it. There's nobody else around. You try the code that you've used before, well, on other jobs while helping your family, and you know it doesn't always work, but you can hope. But this time it doesn't. So you do the next best thing. You decide to break into it and hack it a little bit. Can I have you roll your computers?
Oh, good. It's good. Like, I don't know if my computer is good. Yeah. Let's see. Bam. Let's go.
All right. Yeah, you take off the panel and you can see that there are wires that are like deliberately disconnected from each other, and you see a few that have been cut, some that look very different from the base that they were originally attached to. Like people obviously break into this and change it and fuck with it to stop people who aren't supposed to be coming in from coming in, or to screw over competitors. So you do what you think needs to be done. You connect the wires, you touch a few together, and the door opens up as you put everything back together. And you walk in, and the door closes back down behind you. And this black market is bustling. It's filled with all sorts of creatures and specimen. There's some fauna from around the system being sold here that are in cages. They're also relatively small, about your size. There are some Kasatha who look like they're in gangs. There's even a person who's strolling through with this squad trailing around behind him, and this guy seems very important. And the squad behind him are all wearing a singular uniform, and they look very much the same.
Do I
And the
recognize?
guards, no.
Okay.
And the guards around are all wearing different colors and wearing different uniforms, which you assume means that this is more gang operated, protected, neutral ground sometimes. And even around here, you see something that is claimed to be relatively new, since the rifts, the Solarians. There's a few people with motes of light and absence of light kind of hovering around over their shoulders. One person has it designed in this fashion of like this harness around their chest, as if that's all they're wearing on their top. But you also know what kind of person you're looking for. You're looking for a Sheeran.
All right. So take a gander with a perception check, because I've done so well with them so far.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. I swear to everything. Wow. An 8.
Resolve points can be spent.
Oh my god. How many do I have left, actually? I don't even...
I think you've only spent 2, so you have 6 left.
Nope. It's rough. I am, but granted, I'm not the most... well, I'm a little wise, but come on now. Wow. Okay, 22.
Much better.
Yeah, that'll do.
Yeah, after a little bit of time of looking around, you kind of come back to where you started, right back to that entrance. You look around again, and you see a few Sheeran selling goods, but there's one that stands out to you. It's this it's this person who has these sheets of metal, of different kinds of metal, behind them. And then bolted are some blades, a couple guns, but mainly on the table in front of him are just ingots of metal. And a couple of them are even like have gas coming around them, as if they're so cold or perhaps even so hot that it's vaporizing or changing the air around it.
Yeah, I'll uh just as casually as I always do, because looking like you belong there is trick number one. I'll just walk over.
Yeah. Well, you're a space pirate.
You can't. Okay.
You're a space pirate. You're in a black market. This isn't unusual.
Yeah, but it's just I could just be a guy who works in the area. I'm not always thinking. It's not like I have a sign on my forehead that says probably space pirate, even though it's
No, but more or less what I'm getting at is you don't look unusual. Like other people look like pirates here.
Yeah, but just in case the people I stole this from are right behind me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But eventually you do come up to this guy. And he chitters and clicks, and you hear him say, "Do you have the goods?"
As requested.
And what is your name?
You can call me Caesar.
Caesar. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to hold out his arm and wait for you to put the briefcase in his hand.
Absolutely.
And he'll take it from you and go like, "All right, thank you very much. You can get going now." But there's one thing that sticks out in your brain in particular. How the fuck are you getting paid?
Yeah, no, that was my immediate thought. It's like, well, where are my funds? He's gonna stand there, cross his arms, and you see the cyber eye rotate in place. And glad I could be in service. Like any service in around here, I'd like to get paid for it.
Oh yes, you got paid in experience. You know how to steal better. You know how to steal precious materials from my home planet.
Well, I already did that with relative ease. And now, just like everywhere else in this market, services for services. And I guarantee you, the last thing you want is a black mark on the request board, because every time you request something, the person doesn't get paid in response. We live in a very fragile world where one black mark means you'll never get helped again. Better yet, your competitors can undersell you easier. So I highly recommend you do what everyone else does around here and pay someone for a job well done. Yeah?
Yes, fine. You can have your money. As he takes the briefcase, puts it down, opens it, and grabs out this metal that then begins to kind of like frost a little bit around his hands, and he puts it down, closes his briefcase, puts it under the table, and grabs something else, and he puts in another briefcase down and opens it for you, and you see a pile of credits that you recognize as like singles, like they're just a credit each. But from a rough estimation that you look at, it's maybe about 40 to 50 credits. It's a bit low.
Cute. I don't think we fully understand each other here.
What? This is payment.
No, this is the change from your lunch.
Money
You know
carving
what?
credits.
I think
Fine, fine. No, you want more money? Fine. You could have more money. And he's gonna bend over and pull out. He's just gonna grab another. You see him just with one arm, just kind of like, and you hear the scrunch of metal, and he grabs more, and you can see the credits pile back in. Now it's kind of closer to about 100 or so. Fine. Is this enough?
okay. You know what? I think this is easier actually. What was the name of the establishment again? That I was just at.
The Drifting Ember.
Cool. You know, I do enjoy the Drifting Ember. It's a really fine establishment. And I have a lot of friends that work there. And I'm pretty sure they had less than a stellar day today. Mostly because, well, it seems someone had something stolen and shots were fired and kind of disrupt the peace of the local neighborhood.
Yes, it would be a shame.
Yeah. It's only my duty as a good citizen of Nova Haven to, you know, tell them who's responsible.
You. You were responsible.
No, you see, no one saw me there. But pretty clear to your competitor that as a fellow shear and also dealing with other things, linking the two of you together would be pretty easy. After
Would it
all,
be?
and you see a snapshot of the briefcase. You see his like a cybernetic eye like click. Seems that good citizen saw the payment being. How do I phrase this? Seems that good citizen was almost paid for doing such a darling deed, but realized the wrong he committed.
Roll your bluff.
Sure. Ba-ba-ba-ba. Oh, wait, no. No, roll 20. Bluff, not computers. All right. Bluff. 20.
All right. Bluff. Or sorry, no. Wow, that's my brain just going like that's my brain taking a shit there. Okay.
No, you're good. That would have been amazing. I'm like, oh shit, he's good.
No, not that good. I fine. You can have more. And you just see him use both hands. You can see him just kind of like holding about the same amount, so the rough equivalent to about 200 credits, and just in total is being put into that secondary briefcase. Fine, is this enough? 200.
Absolutely. That's more than enough for what I just did for you. See what I mean? You pay the person, and everyone comes out happy. Hey, you know what? I'll even recommend people your way for more transactions like this, provided you pay them well.
I pay well. You just were greedy and wanted more. I cannot fault you for that. It's natural. Natural of every species in the Vaegres.
No, it's not greed. It's what I deserved. After all, they'll never know. I'm very good at what I do.
Good.
Be that as it may, have a pleasant rest of your day, and enjoy whatever that was.
You as well. Have a good one.
You can pick up the briefcase and walk away.
All right. I think with that, we'll make this prologue come to a close.